Hello and welcome in. Mark here, aka the Markster. This is video number 41 in the FreeCAD series. Today we're going to look at creating some gears and animating them. We'll do that in part design and we'll animate with a script. So today I'm using 0.19 revision 19758. This is one of the development releases. So first thing, let's create a few gears. This is very easy to do in part design because there's a built-in tool for this purpose. Let's create a body. Switch over to the model tab. Go to the part design menu and you'll see down here involute gear. I don't know why it's listed twice. So this comes up a gear and we have some choices for it, and we'll just accept the defaults, 26 teeth and all these options you see here. So this will be an external gear. Now if we want to, we can pad this gear, but I don't want to because it's going to slow down the animation if it has to redo that pad each time. So I'm going to delete the pad. Now let's add a second gear same way. This one, let's give it 13 teeth. It kept going on me there. 13 teeth. And this one we're going to move off to the right side by moving its placement property, X position. Move this over. 49 looks pretty good. Alright, and let's make a third gear. This one with 26 teeth. So just like the first one. And let's move this one over. .98. Then we'll need to rotate that one some. So the goal here is to be able to rotate the first gear, and it will cause the second one to move and the third one to move also. The problem we have is there's no collision detection system, so we're going to have to calculate the angles that are going to be required so that these three gears here will be synchronized. Let me go to dynamic data. Let's create a DD object and add a variable, and it'll be of type angle, and it'll just be called angle, and we'll set the value at 0. Now let's set this angle to DD angle. So whatever we set our DD property angle to, we'll get this first gear in motion. I'm pressing F5 each time. So 14 degrees gets us a full tooth of motion. If we go back to 0, puts us back where we were. The second gear, see if we can get it synchronized. So if I give it some motion, it's rotating like we want. Looks like 14, looks like 7 is half a gear for it, and 14 is the full. And 14 is the full, and 28. So I think if we say involute gear dot placement dot angle, it's gonna have to be rotation dot angle times -2. Let's see if that works. Okay, so it looks like that both of these two are moving in synchronicity. It's got 13 gears. This one has 26. So when we use this formula, let me spread this out some. Times -2. Whatever this angle is, if we make this one twice as much in the other direction, it moves it in the opposite direction as we adjust this one. Now let's work on getting that third one synchronized. Go back to 0 here. Let's see if we rotate it, if it's going to rotate in place. There we are. So let's just make it 7 degrees more than whatever involute gear is. We get this mismatch error, so we have to add deg degree. All right, let's try this and see what happens. Okay, that's looking great. So now we need a script to animate this for us. And clear out these errors. Let's go to macros, create file. We'll call this gear turner, for lack of an imagination. And let's see, we're going to need to import a few things. Import, let's see, from Pi side, import qtgui. This is one of the Qt objects we're going to need in order to keep FreeCAD responsive during the animation. We'll need to call a function called process events. Let's see what else we'll need. Time. We need to import time. So we'll have a little for loop here for let's make this step size equals 1 angle, 1 degree per step. Let's go ahead and make that 360, and the angle equals 360. We might as well make the start angle also. Alright. So each time through the loop, AA will be the angle, the current angle in degrees. And let's see, we'll set the DD object app.ActiveDocument.DD.DD angle equals AA. Probably gonna need to convert that to radians. We'll see. Time.sleep. This is 0.01 seconds. What that's gonna do is, it might not even be necessary. It's gonna pause this current thread and let the FreeCAD take over, let the system update itself. I don't think it's really necessary though. And we need to process events, which is part of that QTGUI. This will keep FreeCAD active and responsive. We don't have a way really to stop the animation, but at least FreeCAD will stay active, stay operating. I'm going to put this to 45 degrees for a quick, short trial here. Probably there'll be some errors. Let me save this as 041 gear animation. Alright, let's give her a whirl and see what happens. Nothing. You know why? We need to refresh each time, but that's okay. We can do that right here. Recompute. Let me save this. And so we won't have to hide our view. Let's go ahead and put this macro on the toolbar. So I'm going to go here to macros, and look for, what do we call this? Gear turner. Let's see, gear turner, there we are. This is the one I was practicing on earlier. Click the toolbar icon, and you'll have a window pop up that'll tell you what's about to happen. We're going to do a walkthrough, and you can say okay. One of the options is to tell it, don't show me this again, which I have done. That's why I'm not seeing it. So click OK or don't show me this again, and you'll get to this screen. And read in red, it says walk through instructions. Fill in the missing fields, optional. Then click add, then click close. So we don't really need any of the stuff filled in. I'm not going to add a toolbar icon. We'll just use this text here. So I'm going to click add and then close. And then walk through instructions. Click the right arrow, then close. So the right arrow and then close. Now if you haven't done this yet, to create a custom icon, a custom toolbar, you'll be brought to the screen and told to click new to create the custom global icon, custom global toolbar first, and then you'll be brought to these other screens. So I'm gonna hit close here. So your process will be slightly different from what you're seeing here because I already have this toolbar created. Then we hit close. Let's close this. And now we need to switch workbenches. Just go to any other workbench, and that'll cause the toolbar to be refreshed. And now we'll have gear turner up here. So I can switch to the view here and run the macro from the toolbar, and we won't have to have the 3D screen hidden as we run the macro. So that's running real well. Let's try 360 degrees, 0.5 degrees per. Let's save and run it. Float object cannot be interpreted as an integer. Line 7, float object. We can't use 0.5 because this has to be all integers. We could multiply it all by 10 and make them all integers, and then divide by 10 down here if we needed to go in steps of a half a degree. So what we could do, make this 50. This is kind of a hack. And then divided by 10 here. We probably have to make this a float. So we're converting the integer AA into a floating point number here with this float built-in Python directive here. Let me clear this error, switch back to our gears and run it. Well, that's running fast. We can slow that down a little bit. I guess I'm going 5 degrees is what I'm doing there, huh? 5 degrees. So we don't make that 50. Make it 5. Alright, now let's try it. That's a little better. Now, if we were to, you say we're still responsive, even though the animation is going on. That's because of that process events. That line in the code, process events, keeps everything active. And we could have like a progress bar indicator if we wanted to get fancy, which we don't. And a way to stop the animation. If we click the button, then what we could do here in the script, detect when that button is clicked and halt this application. Have some variable here to check. It might say something like, if pause detected or whatever, break. And break would break you out of that for loop. I'm not gonna add a stop button to this. This is just a quick and dirty little deal here. Well, that's gonna do it for today. Short and quick. If we had padded these, it would slow things down considerably because it would have to redo the pad each time. So it makes the animations a lot smoother. And I think 1 degree at a time is preferable. So now we're back to 1 degree at a time. And it's important to know this gear is not pushing this other one. They're just synchronized through those formulas that we set up. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.